All right, folks, we are live. Look a little good today. Thank you. All right, let's get to the week. We are going to be doing a weekly market recap. So let me go do the charting here before we can do the others. So this one, we wasn't my interest supposed to be that fucking treasure? All right, let me go do some charting here. 1 second, chat. Might take a little while. Okay. Wow, we made a lot of mistakes this week then. Holy. Was it down? It's this right over here. Thursday, our boss was wrong. Now we go back in Thursday. Are you Romeo private mentorship? Yes, sir. I'm currently practicing my week. This is the trades I took throughout the week. Man, the Tuesday trade was hectic, man. Monday, looking back at the market, as you guys know, during that time, I had a whole different mindset. Right now, I have a whole different mindset. During that time, the Monday trade should have not been taken. We should have been entering on a threshold, and the threshold hit at 12 p.m. time. So would have been no trades on that day. That Tuesday would have been beautiful. What Tuesday was beautiful, but the fucking NFP came back and CPI came back down, hit our break even. But we had a big ass lesson on this day as well, where we tried to break even on a small range. We're not supposed to, because Romeo says not to use a small range as a take profit or a break even. Just use it as an execution. If you guys pay attention to his 2023, if you guys pay attention to his 2023 tweets and X, you will know that that's what he said. Friday should have been no trading day here. Thursday, so Thursday and Tuesday is supposed to be our only trading day. Everything else were meant to be no trading day here. All right, so I think I got it here. Okay, it's hectic, man. Damn. We got clapped on Monday because of we had a fear of missing out the setup, which wow. Okay. I'm facing that problem. Let me go check it. Let me go check with ChatGPT. How do I fix that? Like, hey, sometimes ChatGPT is helpful. All right, so let me go tell ChatGPT something. How do I avoid the feeling missing the setup? Because I struggle with that, where I think I will miss the setup. Then I take the entry that I'm not supposed to enter in the market, either pulls all the way back to give me the actual entry that I FOMO on as well, or market goes on and it goes back and stop. When the kill zone ends, the market Alright, let me go ask ChatGPT something. Give me a tough love option. Ask ChatGPT something here. 1 second, chat, 1 second. So here, alright. You're not afraid of missing the setup, you're afraid of being left out, you're afraid of being wrong, and most of all, you're afraid that if you don't click the button, you'll miss your shot to finally prove you're good at this. But guess what? You're not proving anything when you form into garbage. You're just proving you're weak to your emotions. Let me say it in plain. If you enter a setup that you know is not entry, you deserve the loss because you chose feelings over facts. You chose the anxiety over execution. The truth is the market does not owe you your setup. Sometimes that market gives it, sometimes it doesn't. And your job is to sit your ass down and wait for a snipe. To sit your ass down, wait for it like a sniper, not chase it like a desperate fool. you want to be elite, then act like it. Elite traders don't flinch. Elite traders let go of missing out because they know a missing trade is a recovery, taking a bad trade is a damage. Here's how to fix it. Before the session, write this down. If a model doesn't show up, I don't trade, period. Tap it to your mentor, tattoo it into your mind, whatever it takes. If my model doesn't show up, I don't trade, period. Let me go write that down. That's right there is a beautiful one. I'm gonna write that down actually. That right there is beautiful. So if my model doesn't show up, I do not trade, period. All right. So set your rules like law. And the market hasn't hit your level or setup is illegal to click. If the session kills is over, it's illegal to click. Track every FOMO trade, write why you entered, write how it felt, then write what you should have, write what should have happened. Watch the pattern punch you in the face until it sinks in. Remind yourself daily, missing is part of the game. FOMO is not. Missing is part of the game. Oh my goodness, bro. I need to write that down, bro. 1 second, chat. 1 second, day. I gotta write that shit down. That shit right there. Out of here. Missing is part of the game. FOMO is not. All right, that right there is beautiful. So yeah, I just got that, wrote that down. All right. So end your session with zero regrets. Either you stuck to your plan or you didn't. If you didn't, you failed as a trader, not because of the market, but because of you. Find the truth. Every time you FOMO, you're building the habit of emotional trading. Wow, I never knew that. Okay, every time you sit and watch a trade pass, that doesn't mean you rules. You're building the habit of discipline. One builds an account, the other destroys it. Choose your habit. My habits is gonna be every time I sit and watch a trade pass that didn't meet my rules. I am building good habits. That's what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the one that grows and builds my account instead of destroying my account. Okay, we got it. All right, now let me go and do a weekly market recap. All right, folks, this is the long-awaited weekly market recap. This week, very hectic week. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Thursday we took a trade. Friday we had a trade. Holy shit! I fucked up. I'm clapped. Hold on, let me go leave that video because I fucked up a little bit. Oops. All right, folks. Welcome to the long-awaited weekly market recap. Going over the whole week, or every trade that we took out the whole week. This is gonna be a long video. This is a weekly market recap. We're gonna be talking to every trade, every lesson that we had throughout the week. What could you use this week to improve on? What should be improved on from this week to on to next week and on forward? This week was very hectic to me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Monday, we as in right now, looking back on Monday, should have been no trading day here. Looking back on Tuesday, should have been a trading day. We should have not broke even at all. Looking back on Tuesday, we should have entered on the rejection block. Looking back on Wednesday, our whole boss, Wednesday, I definitely knew my boss was wrong because I fixed it instantly. But looking back on Wednesday, we definitely knew our boss was wrong. So we changed our boss to bearish for the next 2 days, which Thursday profit out of. But Thursday, we missed a setup. We didn't, but I never had that scenario happen to me. So as of right now, it looks like I missed a setup. which we're gonna talk about that as well. Because Thursday we met a new scenario of a mod 1 happening, so we're gonna fix that up and go on forward from there, and add that as a execution type of trades as well. On Friday we took a loss, which we did not have a valid high, so market repurged and then went down lower, which we got stopped out. So it was a big lesson on Friday. Looking back into this whole week, the only trading day I should have had, if I follow all my rules, would have been Tuesday and Thursday. Friday would have been no trading day because he broke my rule. Wednesday would have been no trading day because I did not cared about the shoot and draw liquidity. I was like, okay, man, like I literally forgot about the shoot and draw liquidity. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I literally forgot about it. I didn't really care about it, but I literally wrote it down right after the trade. As well as on the Monday trade, there would have been no trade. How come? Although we did have a setup, but we're supposed to enter on a threshold here, man. We're supposed to enter the threshold. We entered on the fucking, bottom one. I was looking back, as I said, during that time on Monday, I had a whole different mindset. I had a whole different, because during that time, now I'm, more wise. I have the weakest ended, so I can look back at it, look at, okay, this is what should have actually happened on Monday. This how should have actually happened on Tuesday, etc., etc. So on Monday, during the time I took the trade, I was like, okay, the body is not that big. I could take this trade. I just take it just the Model 1 itself. And I took the Model 1 itself, and you could see it went to a loss. But wondering, well, how come Monday was not a trading day here? The timing of the kill zone ended. As you guys know, 12 p.m. is where we end the kill zone. And since it's 12 p.m., the market ends at the kill zone, we're not supposed to be in a trade anymore. Like, not from this trade. We're supposed to enter the threshold. So we usually enter between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. If a setup does occur after 12 p.m., we don't enter at all. Period. So looking back at this, our entry should have been a threshold, but I took the Model 1 because I had a problem where I foamed it in. And, as you guys know, missing is part of the game, but FOMO isn't. And every time I click the button that goes against my trading rule is illegal, I'll actually read the rule for you guys too. I'll read the, trading guideline rule that I had right here. I was just chatting with ChatGPT for this. So right over here, missing is part of the game. FOMO isn't. And the other one that I wrote down was right over here, which I said, let me go and get the other rule that we wrote down, which was right here. Literally forgot where it was at. 1 second, chat. 1 second. If my model doesn't show up, I do not trade, period. Which that was the lesson on Monday. Man, looking back at this, man, we should have definitely entered a threshold. I don't know how I have a formal problem where I fucking have proof of the market doing this shit, of the market tapping the threshold, the bot is too big. I have proof the market tapping the resistance block if the wick is too big. I have a proof where the market just tapping the bot, Model 1 and not tapping the threshold if the market doesn't impose a move to the upside or downside. And I don't know where the fuck I have this problem. Even like, looking back further to this, we could have just entered on the Model 1 itself after a big impulse to the upside. So after market moves all the way here, we could have potentially entered on the Model 1 itself, put a stop loss right below the Model 1. That would have been fine, but guess what? The 12 p.m. candle hit, and we should have not been trading at all. We should have been done. So looking back at this, our entry should have not been a trading day. I fucked it up, chat. Oh my goodness, I started too hard, bro. I can't do that shit. Cause I'm listening to, chat, I be listening to these videos, and then when I listen to these videos, it'd be a hectic, it'd be a hectic. It'd be a little too long. Alright, let me do it one more time. All right, folks, welcome to the long-awaited weekly market recap. Going through every trade that we took throughout the week using CRT. The lesson of the week. What can we carry on from this week as a lesson and take on to the next week, as well as forward to our trading journey career. This week, we took literally a trade every single day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which, looking back, my only setup should have been Tuesday and Thursday. As I said, man, it doesn't seem like it didn't make sense for me to get 3 setups a week. I get usually 2 or 1 or very rare chances 3 trades a week. So I was like, man, this seems very wrong for me to have 3 trades a week. There's no way. I don't know why I'm getting 3 setups a week. But looking back at this, Monday should have been no trading day. Wednesday should have been no trading day, and Friday should have been a no trading day. On Monday, but when we have the model 1, so you should have definitely been a trade. My rule, so basically on Monday I foamed it in. I had a FOMO problem where I thought, okay, I'm gonna miss a setup. A fucking problem of missing the setup, which is such a bullshit thing. I had that problem, so I entered on the setup that was not my setup. People wondering how the model 1 is there. The body is bigger than the wick, so I'm supposed to enter on a threshold. And I literally have evidence, proof of the market having a threshold when the body is too big. When the wick is too big, over in the body, it literally taps the fucking rejection block right over here. I literally have proof. I don't know why the fuck did I enter on this, on this model 1 when my entry is supposed to be on that rejection block, because the wick is over in the body here. I fucking don't know why. I definitely do know why here, but FOMO. I had a FOMO problem on this day, FOMO problem on this day, and this day was our bot was wrong. On Thursday, we missed a setup literally. Right. So we had no FOMO problem on that day, and this day we broke our valid high roll, which is a new type of scenario on that day, new type of scenario on this day. This day I forgot about the should withdraw liquidity, so I had to literally write down a should withdraw liquidity rule, which eventually from the next 2 days on we're bearish, with the market overall go bearish direction here. And on Tuesday, our entry is supposed to be in the rejection block. I do not know why the fuck we entered on the model 1. And on Monday, you're probably wondering, well, the market still tapped your entry and you still had a loss. As you guys know, we can only execute between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. Anything after that, right when it hits 12 p.m., if we don't have a setup, we're done for the day instantly. Nothing else. That's all we're doing. There's no extras. We're just gonna, if you have a setup between 6 a.m. and 10:30, we're gonna execute. If our setup gets tapped around 12 p.m. and 1 minute, we're not gonna enter the trade. It can only be between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. Nothing else. Otherwise, right when it's 12 p.m., we're done for the day. We'll come back in here next day, let the market play it out. Because what happens after that is market could just go stop you out, because the market is gonna expand to one direction, take out liquidity, and prepare for the next day. And yeah, let's go do a whole top-down analysis to every single day. Maybe you guys a whole market recap. It's gonna be a pretty long video since it's the weekly market recap. Now let's get straight into it. Monday and Tuesday I was bullish, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I was bearish. But Wednesday I was bullish as well. But as I said, we had a short term liquidity rule problem, which we fixed it, and eventually we're bearish. Eventually the market did go in direction here. Now on Monday we had our weekly IRL to ERL, weekly shift to the upside. We had a daily, we're in discount daily range. We tapped the daily IRL, so I thought we were gonna go from daily IRL back to ERL, right, or this ERL as well. We had a daily CRT to the upside. This right here is our CRT, but the model 1 confirmation happening for this candle closed, as well as in the 4-hour time frame. We had a 4-hour CRT. This right here is our 4-hour CRT here. Which got met on Wednesday. You can see this is our 4-hour CRT. We were literally going the counter trending here, as well as we had a daily range. We had no daily ranges here, but there was not much of a context here. We had a New York cruiser profile 1 AM accumulation, 5 AM mid pitch, 9 expansion, 9 expanded to the downside. But there should have not been any trades here. So now scaling out to the 15-minute time for this trade, because you can see there's no narrative to this trade. There's literally no narrative here. And on this trade, I risked 2%, so I lost literally 2%. But I'm gonna count as 1 RR, because on challenges, on evals, 2% is 1% to me. On live account, 1% is 1% to me, right? But on evals, I'm risking 2% as of right now until 2025 ends, because I'm trying to be more aggressive on getting these funded accounts out. And yeah, so yeah, 2% is to me a 1 RR. It's not me losing 2%. It's just me using 1% on the RR base. So right over here, we entered the model 1, which should have not been our entry, and eventually market came back here, stop loss. This trade should have not even been taken. Now, what's the lesson? And I had a rule where if the market does a big impulsive move to the upside, let's go say market does a big impulsive to the upside, and market does now look like it's going to retrace back to the threshold of the model 1, when we're meant to enter on the threshold of the model 1 because the bot is overweighing the wick, but the market does a big impulsive move to the upside or downside, and it doesn't make sense logically to go back all the way to the threshold. We're gonna enter on the model 1 itself and put a stop loss below the body of the model 1, which is right over here. So looking back on the money trade, our entry could have definitely been here, right down here, after a impulsive to the upside. So market closed right over here. That's right over here, closing, going up right over here is not an impulsive to the upside. Like right after this big bullish candle, that right there is an impulsive to the upside. So at first, we could have not entered on the model 1 itself. We had to wait for an impulsive move to the upside or downside. So an impulsive move to happen to the upside. So at first, we're supposed to enter the threshold, which went to the model 1. I don't know fucking why. As I said, we had a FOMO problem. I do know why. We're going to talk about it. So on the money trade, when the market went up, right around here is when the market did an impulsive move to the upside. So now we look and take the trade primarily based on the model 1 itself and putting our stop loss right below the body of the model 1. And since the market doesn't really make sense to go back all the way down to the threshold, we're valid to take a trade all the way from here. That's only after the market does an impulsive move to the upside, which was all over here. Now we're valid. But the market, 12 p.m. came around. The 12 p.m. never hit the model 1. Like before 12 p.m., market never hit the model 1, so we're done for the day. No trades a day. But what I did was I entered the model 1 itself instantly, which at first we're supposed to enter the threshold because the body is over in the wick. So, and the body is thick as well. So we're first supposed to enter the threshold, which then it gets tapped by around here. Now, okay, we're flat to enter model 1 itself and put our stop loss right over here, which never gets tapped, before 12 p.m. Then eventually 12 p.m. comes around. We're not supposed to have any trades here. So Monday should have been no trading day. And forwarding, well, you enter the model 1 here. I'll be right back. Fuck, I gotta reset this fucking video. Oh my goodness. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, Chad. It's gonna be a long ass lesson, bro. I think I gotta do segments here. I think I gotta do part 1, part 2, part 4, and part 5. Yeah, that's what I gotta do. Yeah, cause there's no way I could do a whole at once. That's gonna be too hard, chat. Yeah, I gotta do segments because if I do the whole thing, the videos are gonna be so long. Yeah, I gotta do segments because if I don't do segments on this weekly market recap, I'm literally going to get fried the fuck up. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're gonna have part one, part two, part three, part four, and part five. I don't give a shit. We're not doing all that shit at once. That's gonna be too difficult. Guys, that's probably gonna take at least 2 hours to cover all this whole shit. So we're gonna take our sweet time and go one by one. We fucked up, man. I gotta, cause somebody was locking the door, man. Literally. All right. Gotta restart all over again. All right, folks. Welcome to the long-awaited weekly market recap, going over every trade that we took out throughout the week using CRT and ICT concepts, as well as the lesson of the weeks. What are the lesson of the weeks? What can we use from this week lessons to go for the next week as well on forward through our trading journey so we can improve our trading. As you guys know, YouTube is literally my journaling. I watch my own videos. I come back at this, watch my weekly market recaps. I'll let you watch every video I upload because journaling. As you guys know, every profession has journal. A doctor has his own journal. Literally a cashier has his own journal. Traders have their own journal. Without journaling, you wouldn't know your mistakes. And this week I made a lot of mistakes here. So this weekly market recap is gonna be 5 parts. So I'm gonna make a quick short one on here, just going through Monday. Another one just going through Tuesday. Another one just going through Wednesday, and another one just going through Thursday, and another one just going through the Friday one. If we do all together, it's gonna take a long ass video. So yeah, but I'm not gonna make a video where it's all combined. You just gonna have to go watch each at once. But in this video, we're just gonna be talking about the Monday trade, which Monday trade is very viable trade here. We fucked up on Monday. We should have been no trading day. Looking back on Monday, during that time, like this is a third person view, right? This is why I like the weekly market recap, because on Saturday and Sunday it's gonna be a hectic week for me because I have to come back in a chart, review the week, and review my problems and talk about my problems, especially to you guys, so you guys can learn as well. Because these problems costing me money, right? Costing me fucking pain in the ass, costing me a lot of emotion, costing me literally a lot of depressing moments. Not depressing moments, but I was like, damn, how the fuck did I fuck it up, right? So that when that happens, it fucks up your emotion. So if you're a trader, you question why. So why did the market stop me out? Why I did this? Why I did that? Why did that? Etc. Etc. Because the market is perfect. The time is perfect. The price and time-based concepts are perfect. Like time and price, they're perfect. Market is controlled. Everything is perfect. The system is perfect, but we're not. So we have to become perfect. How do we become perfect? By journaling, doing all this shit, and especially talking to the fucking viewers. This shit is tough because somebody could judge me, but I don't give a fuck about nobody judges me. I'm too busy in my life for somebody else to judge my shit, right? You guys are too busy to judge me. You have something going on in your life. I have something going on in my life. We both have problems, and that's why that's why I make these videos, and I don't give a shit about if anybody says anything about it. Okay, I made a mistake on Monday. I don't give a fuck. I'll be like, somebody could say, oh yeah, this guy's a fucking dickhead, made a mistake on Monday, right? Made a mistake on this day. He's an idiot. But this is my journal. This is my process to greatness. And I don't know, like, you're eventually just say at the present moment you may say some shit, but 10 minutes later you wouldn't give a fuck because you have your own problems in your life. Everybody has their own problem in their life. So me uploading this video is not gonna do anything to you guys. It's not doing anything to me. It's just gonna benefit me. It's gonna benefit some of you guys who are attitude people who are ambitious and they're wise, because a dumb person will make excuses while a wise person learns from everything and everyone. Because you don't want to go through the same struggle I'm going through. If you go through the same struggle I'm going through, you're probably going to take you at least 2 times longer to get. It's probably going to take you 2 times longer to get you to your destination that you want to go to. If you want to go through that, bumping on the fucking wall constantly. You have to be wise, learn from somebody else, like such as me. I literally watch my own videos back to back. I don't give a fuck, because like I said, it's journaling. Every profession has a journaling. How does a soccer player, even soccer players have their own journal. Before they go, they have a journal of the gameplay they want to do. They literally, my brother is like he's not a pro, he's a coach, right? But he gets paid a lot. He still plays a little bit soccer. I constantly see him journal. He plays the game. The videos are uploaded to social media. He goes, watches it, right? He does how he literally takes notes, journals down what he did, journals down, every single aspect of his game that he played during that, during that game. And eventually, the next day, he takes it to his coach or whatever. He used that journal to improve. So he goes to training practice next day and look at those, flaws that he had during that game and improve on those flaws and improve, because everybody has their own journal. I have my own journal, which is YouTube. Your journal could be Notion app. Your journal could be anything. You could do your own type of journal. But yeah, let's get straight down to the weekly market recap. We're just gonna go over the first segments out of the 5, which is the Monday trade. I'm not gonna go throughout the whole week on this one video. It's gonna take too fucking long. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's already 5 minutes, right? It's probably gonna take like 15 minutes or at least an hour. But we're gonna go here because if I do the whole thing, I'll get gaslighted and I fucking forget what I talked about throughout the whole video, because there'll be so much information. Because this week is so valuable. I love this week. This week I love it. I fucking love this whole week. Very valuable week. But yeah, let's get straight into it, to Monday trade. On the Monday, let me give you guys top down analysis to the Monday before we go any further to the lesson and to the trade. Monday, we should have not had a setup at all on a Monday. So Monday we had a weekly IRL to ARL weekly series to the upside, as well on a daily time frame. We had a daily, we're in a discounted range. We had a daily IRL back to daily discounted IRL to PM ERL, daily series to the upside. There was not much context here on the higher time frame did have context, but the lower time frame context and narrative didn't have that much context here. So that's what I'm saying. Monday should have not been a trading day, because he was like very interested to me. Like, damn, there's not that much context here. How the fuck? There was only like a New York profile 1 new accumulation, 5 mid position, 9 expansion, nothing else. The order flow was bearish. There was no ranges. There was nothing like that. There was ranges here, but the range is already broken out of here. I believe market will still go up higher from here to the longer term basis, but the ranges are, the ranges didn't even make sense during that time. So there was not much of a market context. Now, if you go to lower time for the market execution after the 1M CRT low got soup, once the 1M CRT low got soup, we had an entry here, and Revenue had a stop loss. Now, looking back on a Monday, now this is the week has ended. Now I can look over to Monday and see my third-person view. During that time, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, right? Going back in time, checking my Monday trade. During the time that I took that trade, I felt FOMO. I was like, yeah, man, I made bullshit excuses like body isn't that big. I'm just taking Model 1, this is a good trade. Model 1, I could take the trade on the Model 1, put my stop loss right on the, low of the Model 1. The body isn't that big. I made bullshit theory. Although I showed proof, evidence of the the threshold getting tapped, of the resistance block getting tapped. When does the threshold get tapped? When the body overweights the wick, and when the body is thick, bulky. This case is a what? It's a fucking 22.4 pip stop loss. That's a wide. That's a big ass candle. It's a thick candle. So our initial entry is supposed to be on the threshold. How can we bypass this? Is when the market doesn't pulse into the upside or downside, and it doesn't make sense logically for the market to go back to the threshold. So we get when that happens, we could just go on the Model 1 itself and put our stop loss right on the Model 1 body of the Model 1. Why? Because in the threshold is not gonna, it doesn't make sense for the market to go back to the threshold. That stop loss is safe. And but when we still enter the trade and market did tap your entry, went into a loss. As you guys know, we can only take a trade between 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Anything that happens right after his 12 p.m., we're not taking a trade. We're done. Why? Because that's a kill zone. That's our duration, and when we are looking for a setup, we're not looking for a setup any time after 12 p.m. Right when his 12 p.m., we're done for the day. No matter if there's a setup or not. Right at 12 p.m., I close the charts and I go on my day. I don't care if I'm in a trade either way. If I'm in a trade, I don't care. I just close the chart, go away, go on with my day, and come back later to 8 p.m., 6 p.m., or whenever something happens in the chart. And looking back at it, as I said, this is more of a third-person view. Monday should have been no trading day. There's two reasons. Reason number one, at first, we're supposed to enter the threshold. Cool. But we went to the Model 1. I said, I phone it in. There's a lesson. So on Monday, we're supposed to, at first, enter the Model 1. The only time we bypass, not the Model 1, we're supposed to enter the threshold. The only time we bypass the threshold entry is when the market does an impulse to the upside. So when does the market do the impulse to the upside? Right on here. This right over here, when the market pushed up all over here, that is an impulse move to the upside. Now, we're ditching the threshold and we enter the Model 1 itself, but we're putting our stop loss right below the body. Now, that's scenario number one of how to bypass, the threshold. That's not all the bypass ways. That's the only way. So at first, we're supposed to enter the threshold. Okay, cool. We're not in a trade. Now, market has a big impulse to the upside. Okay, now we're looking to put our setup right on the Model 1 itself and put our stop loss right below the threshold of the body of the Model 1 without the wick. Because wick doing the damage, bought into the story. Now, I'm waiting for this to get tapped. The Model 1 itself to get tapped and go up higher, but went to before that, which should have not been it because we foamed it in. And you can see the market overall never tapped it until 12 p.m. 12 p.m. came around, it tapped and eventually went to a loss instantly. Why? Because after 12 p.m., if your setup is wrong, you will hit your stop loss quick. And you can see right after 12 p.m., you didn't bullshit around. Your stop loss eventually closed a daily candle right around here. Now, the lesson of Monday is we should have not been in trade. Why? At first, we're supposed to enter threshold. Cool. Market after that. Market did impossible to the upside. Now we can enter the Model 1 itself, put our stop loss below the body. Cool. But the Model 1 itself never got tapped before 12 p.m. So after that, 12 p.m. get hit, we're not in a trade. We're not looking for a trade because the 12 p.m. get hit and the market never tapped the Model 1. It's done for the day. So the lesson of the Monday trade is to do not FOMO in. I cannot FOMO in, and I will not FOMO in, and I do not FOMO in. Because I have proof, evidence backing my statement up. I have proof that the market, when the candle is thick, it would tap the threshold. I have proof when we're supposed to enter a threshold, but the market has a big impulse to the upside or downside, it doesn't make sense logically for the market to go back all the way to the threshold because the market goes back all the way to the threshold of the Model 1, they're losing too much money. They can't afford that. So it logically doesn't make sense. So it doesn't make sense to enter the Model 1 itself and put our stop loss right below the body because the threshold is how not get tapped. So the body stop loss is a safe stop loss as well. Wick doing the damage, body telling the story. And that's the lesson of Monday. So I literally have proof right over here. I have proof of when the wick is overing the body, we are supposed to enter on the resistance block. Fucking Tuesday trade, the CPI trade, our fucking entry is supposed to be the resistance block. The wick is overing the body, probably wondering, well, like visually, if you measure it, it's not. This is when you're using your logical senses / feelings, instincts. If you visually look at this, in my eyes, the wick is stubbornly bigger than the body. In my eyes, it may not look like when I'm measuring it, but in my eyes, it looks bigger. So the resistance block is fucking bigger. But when we're not using emotions, this is an execution entry, so we're supposed to use our emotion here. So after the model one happens, right after we get the right model one, that's when we're looking, okay, this candle too big, this candle small, there is a wick over in the body here. Okay, the wick is over in the body, can enter the threshold. All right, just supposed to the threshold. You can see the market tapped the fucking threshold. And I knew that fucking day, damn. Right when I entered the trade, right when the market went all the way back down to the threshold, I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to enter the threshold. Because when we support enter the threshold, market will usually do it and posting back to the upside or downside, tapping the threshold and going back up. But wondering, well, why that threshold? Threshold is like, not a threshold, the resistance block. That's what I mean. I actually did a grammar mistake. Why the resistance block? Because the wick has liquidity resting there. There's a lot of the orders that happen there. So there's a lot of, as you guys know, the wicks, there's like resting orders on the wicks. So since they're resting orders, the resting orders gotta get filled on that wick, and the wicks fills the wicks. The market goes back down to the wick, fills the orders, and eventually goes up higher. So the lesson of Monday is, I do not FOMO win. Missing is part of the game. FOMO isn't. I only trade when my model is there. If the model is not there, if the model doesn't show up, I don't trade, period. Because missing is part of the fucking game. When you miss a trade, it's part of the fucking game. Not always the market gonna tap your entry. Not always the market gonna give you entry. Missing is always part of the game, but FOMO isn't, and we FOMO don't mind the trade. Our entry is supposed to be at first the threshold, eventually the model one after big impulse to the upside, which the model one never got tapped after before 12 p.m. And eventually we're not looking for no trade. So the lesson of the Monday is I do not FOMO win. The technical analysis was all correct. Overall, you can see Tuesday delivered, Wednesday delivered, but execution wasn't there. Our model one said, having the bias and having the execution, they're two different things. They're two different segments, two different whole dimensions, right? Dimension number one is analysis. You could analyze where the market goes. Okay, you could be correct, but can you profit out of it? You can have execution to the drawn liquidity. In this case, execution says we should have not been a fucking trade, which I journaled down and I took as a lesson. And this is right here, the journal. So the lesson on Monday is, I do not FOMO win. I will not FOMO win. If the body is over in the wick, if the body is big and if the body is big and thick, I'll enter on the threshold. How can I bypass the threshold? It's only if the market does it pull to the upside, then eventually, okay, the market doesn't make sense to go back to the threshold. We can enter the model one itself and put our stop loss right below the body of the model one. Because the threshold, since the threshold doesn't make sense to get tapped logically, it's a safe stop loss to put our stop loss right on the body of the model one. So the threshold is not going to get tapped. Weak doing the damage, bottom telling the story. That's left on Monday. And yeah, thank you for watching. This is part 1 out of 5 of the weekly market recap. And it's not gonna be a part where it's all combined. It's gonna be just part 1 out of the 5. So yeah, thank you for watching. In this trade, I risked about 2%. So on evals / challenges, my normal risk will be 2% from now on forward. Although we got cooked on Monday, we lost 2%. Tuesday, we didn't make nothing. We supposed to make 11 RR on Tuesday. I think 15 RR on Tuesday, which we entered on break even. On Wednesday, we took another negative 2-hour loss. On Thursday, we took no trades. On Friday, we took another negative 2-hour loss, which is all normal. It's at the risk, which now I'm more aggressive in the challenges account, which I fucking hate doing challenges. I passed like 8 challenges before. I hate going through these phases, right? But during that time when I passed it, I was way more aggressive as well, and as well as right now I'm fixing some leaks, so it's all part of me losing. It's all part of the game. We just had to learn here. We cannot rush greatness. And yeah, so that's it on Monday. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and join the description down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Alright, the first video is fucking 18 minutes long. Holy. Alright, Tuesday. Alright folks, this is part 2 of the weekly market recap going over Tuesday. And on Tuesday we had the same bias or upside, but just with more market context and narrative, as well as market go to a drawn liquidity. And on Tuesday, as you could see right over here, we were bullish over on a drawn liquidity. We had a near continuation. We had SMT, CRT to the upside. We had a 4-hour key level. And on Tuesday, our overall big CRT is right over here. And we have we're using the smaller CRT to target the bigger CRT. And on Tuesday, it was a break-even trade. How come? Because we use a smaller CRT as a take profit and a break-even. Now, I wouldn't use it as a take profit, just use a break-even. So market came back down to our entry and stopped us out. And eventually, market proceeded to go up higher from here. See, market at our entry and eventually went up to our drawn liquidity. So on Tuesday, our setup happened. You see, model 1 happened. And this our entry is not supposed to be the model 1, by the way. It's supposed to be in the resistance block. We entered on the model 1 itself. And it's not supposed to be our entry. Put a stop loss here. Take profit here. Our first market hit, I'll take profit. Small range CRT high first. I was like, I broke even. Okay. Market at our break even spot. So I'm gonna break even. Eventually, market pulled all the way back and stopped us out at a break even. So now we made about 3 mistakes here. Mistake number 1, we foamed it in. Because I knew damn well during this time that the resistance block is supposed to be our entry. Missing is part of the game, but FOMO isn't. If my model doesn't show up, I don't trade, period. And in this case, model 1 did show up. I was supposed to trade, but I took the wrong entry. And I literally have fucking proof, such evidence of when the wick is over in the body, the market would tap the wick because there's nothing orders over there and go up higher or lower. This is another proof right over here. I can go back and try to give you guys more proof. Let's go. Let me give you guys more proof here. Actually, I'm gonna do that. And let me give you guys some proof right over here, which is from last week. Right over here, proof number 1. Rejection block. I have so many fucking proofs here. Like, I could go all day on here, right? I could go all day on. Proof number 1. Proof number 2. And I could go all day on. I could go all day on these proofs, right? So I'll let you have proof when the wick is over in the body and we go to the wick and go up higher because the wick has lifting orders. This is just practicing detail. This is what I see. You're wondering, well, how do you know this? It's through price action details. I've been studying the charts that I constantly see the wick getting tapped when the wick is over in the body, and so I see that constantly happening. I don't know why the fuck am I not answering on that. Having a FOMO problem here. And then second lesson is why I use a smaller range as a break-even spot. So market came back down, stopped us at our break-even and went up higher. So the lesson of the second lesson is I do only use the smaller range as an execution to target a bigger range. This is a smaller range. We're using this smaller range to execute on the bigger range. I do not use a smaller range as a break-even or a take profit. I only use it as an execution. No other things. You can see this is a beautiful trade, 11.1 RR. It's supposed to be a fucking, if I enter the right entry, a 30 fucking RR. But when well, that's unrealistic in your fucking eyes. I've had setups where what, 60 RR, 60% gain. It's not unrealistic here. So the lesson is, that's the second lesson. And the third lesson is we're supposed to enter an resistance block. We cannot FOMO win. And yeah, that's the lesson of Tuesday. This is part 2 out of the 5. Lesson on Tuesday is I cannot fucking FOMO into the market. Missing is part of the game, but FOMO isn't. I have proof of the resistance block getting tapped. I just showed you guys proof. I have proof of the resistance block getting tapped. When the wick is over in the body, the market taps Russian block because Russian block has left-wing orders. The wick has left-wing orders that needs to be filled. Then eventually we'll go market up a higher or lower if you're correct. So our energy interest is supposed to be on this rejection block itself. And that's a lesson. We're meant to enter the rejection block because the wick is over in the body visually and my eyes and my instincts. Second is I do not and I will not use a smaller range as a break even or a take profit. I'll use a smaller range primarily as a execution. I do not use it as a take profit or a break even. I primarily use it as an execution. Nothing else, just that. And I do not phone win. So the lesson of this whole trade, to give the summary here, I'm giving you guys in the present tense. I do not phone win. When the wick is over in the body, I'll enter the resistance block or I will not enter at all because I have proof for the market tap the resistance block. Missing is part of the game, but FOMO isn't. If my model doesn't show up, I do not execute. I do not trade. Period. I do not FOMO win. I do not have a fear of missing the setup. I do not have a fear of missing the setup. I do not have the fear of missing the setup. Repeat it multiple times to let myself know. And the next lesson is I do not use a smaller range CRT as a break even or a take profit. I primarily just use it as a execution and nothing else but that. This is the part 2 out of the 5 weekly market recap. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and join the description down below. Very valuable lesson. We're supposed to have a 30-yard trade, so yeah, we're gonna have this in the future, but we just gotta learn. You know, all part of the process. We cannot rush greatness. It's all part of the process here. I'm very happy with the trade, and I had another problem as well during the Tuesday trade, which I just got reminded of. I do not break even too early. In this case, I broke before the news AV came out. I fucking break even. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna lose like I don't want to lose more than 3% because I'm breaking the trading guideline rule on the prop firm. But that's per trade. In this case, I had 2 trades, like 2 trades risking 2% because if I do, one trade risking 2%, the spread is too wide. So I put 2 trades to make it up to 2%, which the rule says a 1 trade cannot exceed 2% loss, 3% loss. But in this case, I'm doing 2 trades. So if I lose, I'm losing like what? 1.5% each. I'm not losing 3% each, right? So I do not break even too early. I only break even when take profit gets hit. Otherwise, I do not break even. Now, let me go read the rule for you guys that I wrote on Tuesday. When the take profit is hit, I move to break even. I do not try out my stop loss beyond the break even point, regardless of news or other factors. When my take profit gets hit, I move off to break even and take partials. I'm not greedy. I don't try to hold and hope the next take profit gets hit. A partial and break even, non-negotiable. If I don't, I risk making nothing. And making something is always better than making nothing. Motion is better than no motion. I'm not greedy. Our partial when take profit is met. I do not assume we go any further. I take my piece of the pie. And I had another rule of this as well. I set the break-even point carefully. I avoid premature adjustments. I do not break even too early. I break even when my take profit gets set, no matter what. I do not try my stop loss beyond the break-even point. Break even just because there's an NFP, just because there's a news or I'm up a couple pips. I do not break even unless take profit gets hit, no matter what. I do not break even too early. I only break even when my take profit gets hit. I do not start my stop loss too early or do a pre-immature adjustments. Even if there's a news or I'm up a couple pips, I only break even when my take profit gets hit, or I'm not breaking even at all. And I partial as well. So yeah, that's the lesson of Tuesday. I broke even too early, and that's the next lesson as well. So yeah, see you guys later. Peace out. Join the description down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. All right, that's on Tuesday. I'll be right back. Let me go and I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get some water because my mouth's kind of. All right, now to Wednesday. This is a already long ass video. We're been live streaming for 1 hour here. All right, folks. This is the part 3 of the weekly market recap. Went over Wednesday. Wednesday, our bias was wrong. We not pay attention to the short-term drawn liquidity, so the market stopped us up. We faced a very immaculate loss on the Tuesday, and market just stopped us out here. So now let's go over the Tuesday trade, and let's see what's up with the Tuesday. Fucked it up. I was thinking about something else other than the chart. So let me delete that chart right here. All right, folks. Welcome to the fucking star. All right, folks. Welcome to the part 3 of the weekly market recap. This is going over the Wednesday trade that we had on EURUSD. We were longs on Thursday, and the lesson of Thursday, the quick little insight to the future of this video is that on Tuesday on Wednesday, not Tuesday. On Wednesday, we did not pay attention to drawn liquidity. We went against a short-term drawn liquidity, but we're day traders. As a day trader, we trading the 15-minute/5-minute executions. So the daily time frame is literally the most important time frame. The short-term drawn liquidity is the daily time frame. The longer-term drawn liquidity is the weekly. The short-term drawn liquidity will always lead to the longer-term drawn liquidity. So that's less than quick little feature insight. But before we do that, let's go to the top-down analysis. But keep in mind, we had our bias strong on this day. And on a higher time frame, longer-term drawn liquidity was bullish. Weekly IRL to ARL, weekly to the upside. On a daily, we had a daily, we had a daily ERL. What I thought was all the way back to premium discounted IRL, but the drawn liquidity got met on the London session. But enough of this, wrong bias right here. I'm gonna talk about the right bias here. So if you go to the lower time frame, the market, onto the narrative, on the lower time frame, you can see the market on London session already met the drawn liquidity. So we were correct for the first half. So for the first half of the day, we were correct. Our drawn liquidity was overall bullish, was correct. But market hit the drawn liquidity on the London session, so drawn liquidity has automatically changed to bearish drawn liquidity because market tapped the premium IRL. Now, Didn't pay attention to that. I didn't even pay attention to the short-term liquidity. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But so that's the cup storm because this is ruthless lesson. Now over here, we go back on the chart. We had a daily premium. We had a discounted ERL to premium IRL right over here. Eventually, from the premium IRL, we're going back to discounted ERL. We had a daily steer to the downside. We had SMT with a steer to high with the high. We also had a midweek reversal. Now, our longer term draw liquidity was bullish, but our short term liquidity is bearish. We're trading a 15 minute, 5 minute time frame. Our trades takes our trades are very short term. It takes like what, a couple of hours to take profit, or sometimes in a couple of days. They're very short term. We're trading for short term, not trading long term. So the daily time frame is very important. The short term draw liquidity is the daily time frame. The longer term draw liquidity is the weekly time frame. So the daily matters a lot, and that's the lesson we had. If we low time for the market context and narrative, I thought, okay, SMT IRL to ERL, we had that's all we had here. That was for the bullish bias. That's what I'm saying. That was take a loss here though. So for the bearish bias here, we had a bearish order flow. We're in the premium daily range. We as well had a 4-hour CRT, and if you go to lower time for execution, that's all we had there. Which is literally enough because we had a lot of context. We had a range high SMT as well. By the lower time frame, market, we did have a legit high here, but we did not have the right time to purge. The purge happened between 5 a.m., which we need to purge between 6 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. So the purge didn't have the right time. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take a trade. Which, as I said, this is me looking back in the chart. It's this Saturday. I'm looking back over the week and taking lesson and journaling over the week. And you can see over here, we didn't take the trade. We took a long. We had a loss here. So the lesson of the trade is, I always prioritize the short-term draw liquidity over the longer-term liquidity because I'm entering on the 15-minute time frame, not the higher time frame. And eventually I wrote down as a rule. I always prioritize the short-term drawn liquidity over the long-term drawn liquidity. The short-term drawn liquidity always leads to the long-term drawn liquidity. As a day trader, the short-term drawn liquidity is my main focus, which is why I constantly prioritize over the long-term drawn liquidity. Ultimately, short-term drawn liquidity paves the way for the long-term drawn liquidity. Short-term drawn liquidity is a daily time frame. Long-term drawn liquidity is a weekly time frame for a day trader. And we are trading the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame, so the daily affects the hourly, the 15-minute, the 15-minute, 5-minute goes based on a daily candle, and everything the system is perfect, by the way. Keep that in mind. The system is perfect. It's perfect, so all makes sense. And we took a long here on Tuesday. We had a long entry here. Our entry was actually wrong as well. This is not our actual entry, but as I said, looking back into the market, our entry is supposed to be on a threshold, but we took our entry just on the Model 1 itself, which went to a loss here. I had a 15.66 pip stop loss. Our actual entry is supposed to be on the threshold. Although it's a loss trade, but we're supposed to have the right entry here as well. The lesson is 2 lessons here. Always prioritize the short-term drawn liquidity over the long-term drawn liquidity. A short-term drawn liquidity will always leave the pave to the long-term drawn liquidity. So I'm a day trader. My main focus on the short-term liquidity because my trades are very short-term. I don't hold my trades for a long term. I hold them for a short term for just a couple hours or a day or so, or a couple of days which are very short-term. And the second lesson is, cannot FOMO in. I do not have the fear of missing out the setup. I do not FOMO into the market. I will not FOMO in because I had a FOMO problem here. When the body is over in the wick, and the body is kind of thick candle, I enter on a threshold, not the Model 1 itself. Because the body is bigger than the wick, the only time I enter on the Model 1 is the only time I bypass the threshold entry is when the market has an impulsive move, which in this case, the market never did an impulsive move to the upside. So our entry is supposed to be threshold, which although they go on a loss here, but because we had our whole bias wrong. It's supposed to be bearish. In the bearish bias, we never had a setup here. And for the lesson is, even with the loss, we're supposed to enter the threshold. So the lesson is, I always prioritize the short-term liquidity over the long-term general liquidity. Because I'm day trader, short-term liquidity will always lead to long-term general liquidity. Since my trades only last a couple hours or a day, they're very short-term. So I always prioritize the short-term general liquidity over the long-term general liquidity. The short-term liquidity will always lead to the long-term general liquidity. And when the body is over in the wick, and the body is big, thick candle, I'll enter the threshold. Only time I can bypass the threshold entry is when the market does an impulsive to the upside. In this case, market never did an impulsive to the upside, so it's supposed to enter the threshold. As well as when the wick is over in the body, I'll enter the resistance block, and that's that. That's the lesson. And I'll let you have proof of market tapping the threshold, market tapping the resistance block. So yeah, big lesson. We have fucking made the FOMO problem throughout the whole week, and yeah, we're on Thursday. We didn't have that problem, but on other days we did have that problem. So now this is my lesson of the Wednesday. This is part 3 out of the 5. Very beautiful lesson. Yeah, as you can see, this week we got cooked. We had literally no winning trade this week. We took a loss on Monday. Tuesday was a break even. We're supposed to be a 30-yard trade. Wednesday is not supposed to be a trading day. Thursday is supposed to be a 2.5-hour trade, which we literally fucking couldn't take a trade out of it. But we literally semi missed it on my market recap because it's a new scenario that I had, which I journaled down as well as on the on Friday. We were supposed to be a trade, and it was supposed to end the trade with a fucking 32-hour gain, but we ended the trade with a fucking big loss. In this trade, I was around 2%, which is a normal size for an eval stage. Evals are always risking 2%, which I accept the risk. It's all accepted. I accept the risk in both that account, which I'm very happy about, right? Accept the risk is all good. And yeah, because I'm trying to be more aggressive here, and I will only risk 2% from out here forward on the eval stages. So yeah, I'm very happy on this. So yeah, that's a lesson. And yeah, because me risking 2%, like I when I do my trades, I don't count it on a percentage based. I count it more on the RR based, right? Because I could be risking 2% on a 4 RR, right? I'm not gonna say, okay, I made 8%. I'm gonna say I make 4 RR here. I'm not gonna say I made lost, or I made 8 RR here, 8 RR here. I'm just gonna say I made 4 RR. Because if I say, okay, I lost a trade, I'm not gonna say I lose like 2% gain. I just lost negative 1 RR, right? That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, if you're watching, make sure you guys like, comment, share, join the Discord, listen down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Okay, that's the lesson on that trade. Now to go over the Thursday. Damn, we got fucked so weak. Alright. Alright, folks. Now let's get to the fourth part of the weekly market recap. Alright, folks. This is the part 4 of the weekly market recap that we had this week. And as you can see, this is a part 4. There's a lot of parts that we have because if I cover all that in one video, it'll take too long. And I'm not going to be able to cover all of them. I'm going to be gassed. I'm going to be geeked. So on Thursday, this is the part 4 of the weekly market recap. On Thursday, we had a shorting trade here. We missed the setup because we were trying to enter the threshold, but market did impulsive to the downside, so it doesn't make sense for the market to go back up all the threshold. So entering on the Model 1 itself is fine, but I thought the Model 1 was right over here. But you gotta go around this. So this one will give us a 2 RR. We could use this other model one, the first candle, as our entry, put right over here, and just go for a 2.7 RR gain, which, you know, eventually it'll get tapped and go in lower, but market never tapped the threshold here. See the market from here never tapped the threshold, it just went lower. And now on Thursday we were bearish, right? We were overall bearish on Thursday, and Friday we were bearish as well. So on Thursday we had a daily to the downside, a midweek reversal, SMT, premium IRL to your premium IRL discounted ERL. Right now currently we have a premium IRL to discounted ERL. If I bet you can go from discounted ERL, go back to all the premium IRL right over here. Eventually go to the longer term draw and liquidity. Now on the lower time frame, we have the market concept to the downside. We had a SMT. We had a New York Rotor Profile 2, 5 AM inclination, 9 AM mid pitch, and 1 PM expansion. We had a 4 key level, which is 4 order block. We had a overall bearish order flow with a premium daily range you want to sell, and we have a lot of context here. So now I'll go to the 15 time for the execution. For the setup, model 1, to execute the setup. So this Saturday we'll be reviewing the week. So looking back to this, our entry, I didn't have to come all the way to Saturday to look at back at the market, like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to enter the threshold. I mean, that threshold was supposed to just enter model 1. Right when the trade happened, I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to enter the model 1, which, you know, lesson, right? So on Thursday we literally finally did not fucking had a FOMO problem. We did not FOMO win. I was like, I didn't tap my entry and I entered the trade. We did not have a FOMO problem because Monday we had a FOMO problem. Tuesday we had a FOMO problem. Wednesday we had a fucking FOMO problem. Like, not a FOMO problem, fear of missing out the setup. It was a fear of missing out the, you know, of the model 1 or the entry getting tapped. That's what we had the problem of, which would never happen again. It would never ever happen again. It was a really rough week for me, which will definitely be fixed, and we're not gonna make the same mistake next week, you know, go and forward on. But how did I miss the setup? I was looking to enter the threshold because the body, you can see it over here, was the body was thick. The market was, you know, the model 1 is thick, so it makes to enter the threshold, as well as, you know, there's just a wide stop loss and the RR was very off. So if I were to enter from here, just from the model 1 itself, the RR is like 1 RR. I can't take the 1 RR. It must be a 2 RR and above. So I was looking to the threshold, but because the reason I was looking for a threshold was primarily because, you know, the body was big and thick. I thought the market was going to go back to the threshold, go lower, but market did an impulsive move to the downside. And as you can see, market did an impulsive move to the downside, and it didn't make sense for the market to go back up all to the threshold, then go lower, because the market makers are losing too much money on this point. So it logically doesn't make sense for the market to go all the way back up to the threshold. So we can bypass the threshold entry and enter on the model 1 itself and go for the same take profit. So my model 1 right over here is this candle, but since this candle is now for a 2 RR, we can use the other model 1, which is this candle, as our entry to short it down to the drawn liquidity. It's right over here. And as you can see, as you guys know, on Thursday and Friday, we only have 1 take profit. What do we have? Only 1 take profit on Thursday and Friday. So we don't have a greed problem, and market needs to close at a fair price. And we make, so on Thursday and Friday we make a full amount. We make full amount of our trades. We don't make, you know, no partial or nothing. We're just making full amount of our trades here. So if we're not gonna make anything less than 2% RR. We're not, because when you do partial, you mess up with the RR. So yeah, that's why we're doing that. That's why we went for 1 take profit. That was no longer a problem. But right over here, the problem was, the lesson of this trade is, when we're supposed to hit a threshold and the market doesn't impulse to the upside or downside, and it doesn't make sense for the market to go back all the threshold because market is losing too much money at that point, and it doesn't logically make sense, we can enter the model 1 itself, which must offer a 2 RR and above, and target the same goal. How do we bypass the threshold if the market doesn't impulse to the downside or upside? And doesn't make sense for it doesn't make sense for the market to go back over the threshold, connect to the model one itself, enter the trade, and to go to take profit. So in this case, our model one is over here. It should have entered all over here, but then the RO was very off. So we could use the first consecutive the model one candles and use that as our entry. When there's consecutive, like I said, 3 consecutive candles on that, as I said, it still depends on the RR here. What's the RR? On the consecutive candles, if the consecutive candles over here 3 RR or 2 RR and above, you can take it. But if it's 2 RR, just enter the, and you have ways of entering the trade. In this case, I entered in the first candle, which was I was gonna offer as a 2 RR and above, which this one did get tapped and did win lower, but I missed it out because I was entering the threshold. I was literally waiting here for the threshold to get tapped, which it never got tapped, and eventually went down lower. So the lesson of the Thursday trade is to, when I'm supposed to enter the threshold, market has a big impulse move to the upside or downside, and it doesn't logically make sense for the market to go back all to the threshold. I'll enter the model one. The model one that offers me a 2 RR and above, and target that. So yeah, and our stop loss is gonna be the body of the model one. Why? We're doing the damage by to the story, and because since it doesn't make sense for the market to go back up all the way to the threshold, the body is a good stop loss to put it in as. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. And that's the next lesson. Well, what's good, my boy? Where's the videos about setting charts, templates, etc. I'll do that today, right after this video, bro. I'm literally making like 5 videos on this bitch. But yeah. So let me go and real quick make it. Let me do a weekly market recap. Eventually, I will go over my charting session, my charting settings. So yeah. Now let me go and do the next video. Damn, my low needs to get a little rest. God, my mouth is hurting from yapping so much. Godly. But yeah, actually, let me make a video on that as well. Let me take a look. Actually, let me do this finish because I'm on. Like, it's all you need to do is one more video. And eventually, we're done with this shit. All right. Now let's go over the Thursday, Friday trade. All right, folks, welcome to the part 5 of the weekly market recap. This is the Friday trade. We have literally had trade every single fucking week, every single day. I mean, throughout the whole week, which is fucking unbelievable. That should have never been a thing here. We should it's like this. That's what I said, man. My setups also offers me on a good week, 2 setups a week, or 3 setups a week max. On a good week, usually 1 setup or no setups. And this week I had set up every single week, so I definitely knew there was something fucking wrong on this week. So Monday should have been no trading day, Wednesday should have been no trading day, and Friday should have been a no trading day. And we're supposed to only have 2 setups this week. But we got fucked up. We took a setup on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Fucking Tuesday setup could have been every loss here and make us a big fucking money. But we broke it in the market. We broke it too early, and the market had a stop loss at break even. Eventually, market went up higher, paying our draw on liquidity. So yeah, we're fixing it. We just fixing some leaks, fixing our problems. We're just gonna, it's the process to grade this. So yeah, let's go over the the Friday trade, which should have been no trading day, but we broke a rule here, which we're gonna fix. Which this rule was a new scenario type of rule. Now, if we go back to the higher type of drawn liquidity to the setup, which is our drawn liquidity in a higher time frame, was overall bearish. We had a daily CL to the downside, daily premium IRL to discounted ERL, which is this right over here, as well as we had a big wick here on the weekly time frame, which needs to close at a fair price, which needs to go down and put the wick in, as well as we had a midweek reversal Wednesday half of the week. So there's gonna be expansion and Friday's gonna be expansion, and we had a daily SMT CRT to the downside, which is our CRT right over here. Now with the lower time frame, market context was a bearish order flow. We had SMT. We had a double purge here Purchase at the low, purchase at the high. The high had SMT here. So our main range with this candle and our range that the low, the purchase at the range low, then the double purge is our drawn liquidity, and as well as yeah, that's our drawn liquidity here. That's what we had. The market concept is bearish. We're in a premium of daily range. So we want to go sells, and we tell the premium of daily range. We go down. We want to go down to the daily range low. Today, with that, on Friday, was stacked with buys here. We were stacked with fucking a lot of market context and narrative. And right over here on the hourly time frame, it says we are looking for a new continuation here because lunch should be the high of the day. So I'm looking for a new continuation. So since I'm looking for new continuation, I'm looking for a 4-hour CRT or hour CRT. We had no 4C presence. We're looking for hour CRT. We're looking to use a smaller range, target a bigger range. At first, we had the 6 a.m. as our range, and the 7 a.m. did press out the range high, and we're trying to shut it down. But the 6 a.m. The 6 a.m. The 7 a.m. never offers the actual entry to the 6 a.m. candle. So the 6 a.m. range was our range. 6 a.m. high. The 6 a.m. high right over here wasn't a legit high. So market, I couldn't take the trade. I didn't execute it, and yeah, I was just waiting for the market to, either give me another setup or no setups here. Eventually, we forced a trade here, which overall went to our loss. And yeah, now on the next, eventually, since we couldn't take this, we're waiting for the next candle to close, which is 70. This is the 8 a.m. candle. The 8 a.m. candle closing in a range. Eventually, I'm waiting for the 8 candle high to get priced for the model 1 to happen. Eventually, go lower. And the model 1 right over here. This is the actual model 1. Which is the register block entry to the downside, which in this case I was looking to execute it straight here, but the market gave me the wrong model 1, which was a body. I can't take body. I can only take the fucking full candle closure or a consecutive candle closure. I cannot take a body by itself. But yeah, our entry should have been the resistance block itself and put a stop loss here and target the lows. So yeah. So our range high was our drawn going over the week. So I just got distracted, my bad. Since the 6 a.m. didn't give us the 6 a.m. high didn't have a legit high, so looking for another range to target it. But wonder, well, this is a bigger range. But keep in mind, this is a smaller range. There's another bigger range, and there's another bigger range, right? This bigger range and bigger range. So overall, we're looking to use a smaller range to target the bigger range. So the range wasn't the problem. The problem of this trade was that there was no legit high here. But wondering, well, there's an equal high here though. There's a bullish bearish candle, bullish bearish candle. As you guys know, an equal high when they're literally equal, not the one that are like this or like this. Like this one that has SMT. This one has SMT. But this one takes a portion of the liquidity. There's people who have their stop loss right over here. They take a portion of the liquidity, so there's not enough liquidity for the market to go lower. Guess what? We can see market go lower here, but guess what? It's not enough. Now over here, there's enough liquidity for the market to go lower. So the lesson of this trade is primarily there should have been no setups here, but the lesson is at the CRT has to low, there must be a valid high, valid low. There cannot be a random ass fucking high or low. It must be either for the CRT high a bullish bearish candle. At a CRT low, it must be a bearish bullish candle. There cannot be an equal highs or equal lows. There cannot be a swing high, swing lows. There cannot be a such from random highs or random lows. It cannot be an equal high where they have bullish bearish candle at a CRT high, or it cannot be a bearish bullish candle at the CRT low. Even though they're equal, although they're bearish bullish candle, it cannot be like that. It cannot be equals. It can only be bullish bearish or bearish bullish. No random bullish candles, no random bearish candles, no fucking swing highs or equal lows or swing lows. It can only be bullish bearish candle or bearish bullish candle, nothing else, because a equal high, equal low takes out liquidity, which it doesn't take out the whole liquidity, but it takes a portion of the liquidity. So the market, since it doesn't have a portion, since there's not enough liquidity here, market needs to market eventually once it pushes it out, market now here has enough resting liquidity for the market to go lower. So market doesn't work all the way up, pushes out that liquidity damage, it goes lower. So on Thursday, our trade, there should have been no trade here. But the lesson of the execution here is our entry was the the body was the CISD. So market on our entry was perfectly fine. And you can see the reason why we entered here, the reason I entered here because of the spread. But we had one entry which was on the threshold. I'm not entered. We had one entry which was on the, on the CISD, and one entry right over here because of the spread and shit. But right over here, our market didn't post it to the downside, so it didn't make sense for the market to go up, back up all of the threshold. Although you can see, market they won't go to the up to the threshold. But I said, this is not our setup. So realistically, since the market did a big impulse to the downside, our entry was not. Since the market doesn't make sense to go back up the threshold, they losing so much money on that. It would make sense for us to enter the Model 1 itself, which on this candle we can enter on this candle because the RR is very off. So we're entering on the body on this to give us the right amount of the RR. So yeah, we entered here for stop loss right over here, and eventually the entry was fine because I had stop loss right over here. You can see market, we had a perfect stop loss, which was doing the damage part into the story. The execution was fine. It was all good. The reason we didn't enter all over here on this Model 1 of the first consecutive candles because it didn't make sense for the market to go up all the back up to the threshold. So entering on this, we're realistically supposed to enter on the Model 1 itself right over here. But since the R is off, we're gonna enter on this. Okay, it's because we can't enter all over here, right? So logically, this really doesn't make sense. Although this going to loss, the execution was fine. It was just that the valid high valid low rule, which is valid high valid low rule. We had been having this shit for a long ass time, right? And eventually broke it today, that day. But listenable, we're never gonna break that same rule again. We're never gonna ever gonna break the same rule. We're never ever gonna make the same mistake. And yeah, this is the lesson of the whole week. This is part 5, the last part of the whole weekly market recap. Big lesson, big week, big very fucking week, big lesson week. And yeah, very happy of the week. Very happy of the outcome. Got cooked this week. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Our beautiful trade on Tuesday got break even, which was supposed to be a big ass trade. But yeah, this whole week we had fucking FOMO problem. We entered in the wrong fucking entries. We're not supposed to be in trades. We did not press as a shoulder on liquidity, which is all fixed now. Now we wrote it down. Now it's no longer a problem here. Now we wrote it down. We literally are not gonna make the same mistake again. We're not gonna make the same mistake again. Very big lesson. Risk 2% throughout the whole week on each trade. Why? Why not? Makes sense because it's the eval stage. In the eval stages on challenges, I risked about 2%. And this trade I didn't take on my small live account or my other funded account because of the I wanted to fix some leaks, and I knew I definitely had some leaks there still, which is the FOMO problem, which is now fixed. Missing a trade is part of the game, but FOMO isn't. If my setup doesn't show up, I don't trade, period. And that's the lesson of the whole week. I have definitely more left to talk about here, right? And yeah, the other primary lesson is I do not FOMO win. I will not FOMO win. I will practice short-term liquidity over the long-term liquidity. When the wick is over in the body onto the threshold, I will enter on the resistance block because I have fucking proved. I showed you guys proof in the part 2 of the weekly market recap. I will, when the body is over in the body is bulky and it's over in the wick, I'll enter in the threshold. And how can we? And when the market has a big component to the upside, downside, and does it make sense? And we're supposed to enter the threshold itself. It doesn't make sense to go back all the threshold. We will enter on the Model 1 itself. But the Model 1 RR must make sense, and must be a little cheeky on it. We're gonna enter on that and press level right above or below of the bottom of the Model 1 because since the threshold is safe, since the threshold is not gonna get tapped, the Model 1 stop loss is fine. Just putting a stop loss of the body below the body is perfectly good stop loss. We're doing the damage body to the story, and we can only trade between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. because it needs to be right when it hits 12 p.m. we're done for the day. Regardless if regardless if you're in a trade or not, regardless if you don't have a trade, we're done. We're not looking at executing. We're done for the day. And the next lesson is I do not break even too early. I break even when my take profit gets hit. I do not break even unless my take profit gets hit. I'm not greedy. I do not break even when I'm up like a couple pips or when there's news around because I accept the risk. Since I'm in a trade, the trade accepted. So I don't care how much more I lose on a trade, even if it was a news, a CPR or a PPR or NFP news, even if there's a news, that risk is accepted. Since that risk is accepted, I don't care how much it was before that, more than that, because that all that risk is accepted. I don't enter a trade I don't enter a trade if I don't accept the risk. I always accept the risk, and yeah, I don't break even too early. I do not try my stop loss too early unless I'm gonna take profit. I use a smaller range to target a bigger range. I'll use a smaller range only as an execution, not a partial or a take profit or a break even. I'm primarily as an execution, nothing else. I prioritize that short-term allocated over the long-term allocated because I'm a day trader. Because I'm trading a 15-minute, 5-minute time frame. My trades only last a couple of hours or a couple of days. They're very short term, and at the CTS to low, they must always be a valid high, valid low, which is a bullish bearish candle or bearish bullish candle at the sell liquidity or buy liquidity. It cannot be an equal high or equal low. It cannot be a bias random bullish bearish candle. It cannot be fucking even same candles. You know, at the equal highs, it cannot be the same candles either. It cannot be the same candles like a bullish bearish candle, right? It cannot be like that candle, the CT high. It must be a bullish bearish. If there's an equal high, I'm looking for repurge. So if there's an equal high there, I'm looking for the high to get purged. I'm looking for a valid high to get formed, and eventually for that valid high to get repurged. Eventually get the model confirmation and enter the trade, or I'm not entering the trade at all. I'm done for the day, nothing else. I will only look for valid highs, valid lows. If I don't get valid high, valid low, I'm looking for a retrade. I'm looking for a repurge or no executions. Then if once I get a repurge, once the market forms the right, you know, once the market forms the right in the valid high or low, then look for that high, valid high, will look to get purged. Then look for the right model one to eventually go lower. The valid high, valid low cannot be a swing high, swing low, or bullish bearish candle to CSU to lows. It cannot be equal high, equal lows. It can only be bullish bearish candle or bearish bullish candle, nothing else. That's CTS to lows. And that's the lesson. Beautiful lesson here. And yeah. And if I say I'm entering here, I'm entering here. If I say I'm entering the resistance block, I'm entering the resistance block. If I say I'm entering on the threshold, I'm entering the threshold. If I say I'm not gonna take a trade, I'm not gonna take a trade. If I say this, I'm gonna do this. I'm the man of word. And yeah. How can we bypass the threshold entry if the market doesn't pull him to the upside or downside? Then we can enter the Model 1 itself and put our stop loss, you know, below the body or above the body of the Model 1 and break down the damage point to the story. That's only when the market doesn't pull him to the upside or downside. Then we can enter the threshold. Then we can enter the Model 1 itself and put our stop loss right above or below the body because the threshold entry is higher than get retapped. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, big lesson week. I risk 2% per trade. I took the risk. I'm more aggressive. But yeah, we're all good this week. Very valuable lesson week. I'm looking back on his journal. Very, very viable lessonable week. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and join us down below. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Very valuable week. I love the week. Peace out. Damn chat. Bro, please explain. My boy said ICT Warrior. Please, bro, please explain the 1.5 1.15 model real quick. Wait, so bro, please explain the PM 115 model right quick. Is a 4 CRT needed for 15-101? Bro, please explain the 1.15 PM candle macro. Which one are you talking about? The 4-hour CRT or the hourly CRT? Or the macro, the 130 to 145. Which one are you talking about, bro? Can you let me know more further? So you upload videos like tomorrow, but you need to show all your settings. Fibo, it's my request pleasure. My request pleasure. How it say I don't know. Okay, bro. I got you, my boy Derek. I got you on the settings. Don't worry. I'll put literally everything. Don't worry. I'll put everything. And yeah, don't worry, I'll make that video right now. I'll upload that video right now. I'll show you the first video I actually upload for you. Just to, just let that video get out there. But my boy, ICT Warrior, can you tell me what do you mean by the 1:15 PM macro? What are you looking for specifically? Are you looking for the macro, like the 30-minute duration or the 15-minute duration? Or are you looking for the overall bigger time frame? Like the 4-hour CRT or the hour CRT or the 15-minute CRT? Which one are you talking about, bro? Because I'm pretty sure there is no macro at 115. It's only that 130 to 145 and the 145 to, I mean, that's the only macro on the PF session, nothing else. Everything else is very cray, you know? Let me show you. Let me see if I got it here. The PM macro 115. So this is the PM macro, bro. So if you're talking about this is a CRT, the lower time frame. So all you're doing is waiting until 130. You're marking the 13, 15 handle of the 15 time frame because it's a very short-term drawn liquidity thing. It's a very short-term macro. So you're marking that macro out. You're waiting for a logical reasoning to enter the trade. So if you have a bias here, you're waiting for one side, waiting for your range higher, range low to get purged. You're looking for the model one confirmation. You're looking to execute here. So let me get the confirmation.
Can you open the door?
What you?
My room door. I have a key.
I'm open the door. I don't got the key. I don't got it. Okay, so before I go do that, let me show you what I mean. This is a 130, so we're looking for a trade. Market range a lot. 144. Market souped it out. And this day, specifically, you could take the trade to the upside, but man, the setup happened outside the kill zone, but the purge did happen at the right time. The purge happened at the right time, but the setup happened outside the kill zone, which you could definitely execute. You could definitely execute that setup there, but you see the model one is all over here. That's a big ass model one, bro. But this is the macro setup you could have executed right here. You can see tagged it to the wick. You see market take this entry to the wick. Oh, never mind, you didn't take it, but this is a quick little example on the macro you're talking about. I don't know what you mean, bro. I don't know what macro you're talking about. You talking about this macro or what macro you talking about, bro? Because I didn't know what macro you're talking about, my boy. ICT warrior, you two left. I just know what you're talking about. I just know what you're talking about, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Jump off, jump off, recorder. All right. Let me go put it down here, actually.
Ali?
Let me get a video for that guy real quick.
And Ali John Pocket.
All right, let me go do everything for this guy real quick. Quick little favor. Fazer that making it, baby. That's a Jason. Standard deviation. All right. Let me do the texting and I do that, but this. Okay. Let me do everything for the sky real quick. Buy side liquidity and sell side. And that's all for that, right? This is straight. So how do I explain this? How do I explain this? Get a hook. This is my chart setting. You need this charting settings, charting Fibonacci tools, all these settings to become profitable. Why? As you guys know, the market, 90% of the participants fail in the market. You want to be the 10%. You want to be the 5%. You want to be the 1%. If you do, watch this video. This is my whole setting, my charting session, my charting setting, my candle setting, my Fibonacci settings, all of these settings. Why do you need this? Why is this the edge? As you guys know, you need this. You need a lot of advantage in the market, and as you guys know, the market, we're traders. We're basically willing or unwilling liquidity. We're just, we're just that. So we don't have the edge over the market. We're not institutional traders. We're not hedge funds. We're not banks. We're not the market makers. So we need to have the slightest and the most advantage we can have, and that is through this. Why? Because you guys know, when there's a bullish candle, you feel good. Whenever something is green, you always feel good. That right there is fucking up your emotion. When you see a bearish candle, red candle, you get feared. You guys know this. It's like simple knowledge. How do you avoid that? Is by having an edge over it. So change your chart color to black and this color. I'm gonna give you guys a setting. I'm gonna give you the coloring, everything. I'm gonna give you guys all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my toolbar as well. The toolbar, what tools I use, what are the setting the toolbars, and etc. just to help you guys get my own settings. A lot of you guys have been requesting my type of charting settings, which is relatively easy. And this helps you a lot because this helps you avoid FOMO. This helps you avoid a lot of psychology problems. As you guys know, we're not hedge funds. We're not fucking institutional traders. We're not banks. So we need to have the slightest edge that we can have. The edge. So now let's get straight to it. We're going to first start off with the candle settings. So now I'll go over to the candle settings here. Oops. Let me go over the candle settings. So these are the body. And all I'm going to do is just show you guys the candles. There's a number right over here for the body. This right over here is the other candle. That's the number right over there that you can copy. And this is right here, the number for this. And these are all the same here. These are the settings for this. This is a status line. You're not going to care about that. I'm not going to care about this. This right here we care about. So the background is solid. And the color into this, the number is that's the number. I'm not gonna read out the number, by the way, so you have to just go write it down. The grid lines are vert and hars. They're 0 because I don't want them to bother my fucking thing because they're useless. They just fuck up you up. You just fuck you up even worse. And the crosshair is 28% at this color. Watermark is hidden. Text is black at 12. Cool. And that's the charting set. That's the charting right over there. And anything else is all cool here. This is the line of the, our alerts are black. Now, that's that. Now let's go over our toolbar. our long position, short position, our OTE, our SMT, all of this. So for the box, is this color right over here. I put it down as like that, bullish bearish candle. Not bullish bearish candle, like a bullish bearish, settings. So for this one, for the bearish one, that's a number, and the opacity is at 5%. And probably wondering, CIC, why is your opacity so low? Why is your color so light, so small and light? As I said, we want to have edge over the market. Why? When your color is whiter, lighter, it gives you less emotions. When let's just say I mark a order block. When the order block, I mark it out. When the color is lighter, let's just say the market goes out the order block, it inside the order block. Now, when I put it dark, you make me have a formal problem. When I put it light, it makes me like not have that much of a problem. There's all our overall an edge that gives you. So it's small little edge, small little benefits you can have, helps you with that, and eventually, because the lighter it is, the less emotion you're about. And the darker it is, the more emotion you're about it. This is coloring. Coloring gives you emotion somehow. I don't know why, but it does give you emotion. Now it's the bullish one. All we're gonna do is go to the settings. Background color is a number, and the opacity is at 5%. Right over here. Now we're gonna go over the trend line. These are my trend line settings. You can have the same thing as me. These are my targets, my resistance block, number 1, resistance block, SMT. This is bearish SMT, bullish SMT, and this is my buy side and sell side liquidity. So for the resistance block, I put it down as obviously the negative resistance block right over here. And the style is bearish. Same thing as the other candle, but a little darker, which is at 17. Opposite at 17, these are thickness right over here. For the model 1, it's neutral. That's model 1 over there. Lines are at 17 still, and fully blacked out, that's a number. Now going over the bullish resistance block, that's a number. That's like writing the text at 8 as well. This is the coloring, which is at 17%, and that right there is the number to it. This is the bearish target. Or I mean the bearish target, just like that. And that's the emoji. Now the price labels are definitely there. All right, over here is the coloring, which is red, same color as last one. You see, they have the same colors here. Red color is a number, and the opacity is 17. Same to the bullish one, just the opposite. That's opacity, that's a number, and the text is right over there. And if you guys want a text, just tell me, yo, can you give me that target text coloring? Because some of you guys don't know this text number. Just send it to you guys. I can just copy and paste it to you guys in the comment section below. Let me know. Now there's the bearish SMT. The coloring, keep in mind, all the colors are 17. I forgot to talk about the SMT coloring. The SMT coloring is all the text are 17% on these two bars. 50%. SMT 8 line is 17% here as well. It's a number. Coloring. The same coloring, they're all the same coloring, by the way. So right over here it says the opacity is 17%. 15%, 8, SMT. This is the buy side liquidity. It just says buy side liquidity here. You can see I have them like this. I have them laid out, by the way. So I want to get the sell side liquidity. I'll put it right over here. All right, the sell side liquidity, the same thing. 17, that's it. I saved them here so I can just go. Then I have to keep constantly writing down. Just gonna get them as a template. This right over here is my key level, which is, oops, I don't know why I did that. Which says key level, coloring 17, 8, and the line is this number, which is at 17% opacity. Now, that's that. Now I'll go over the long position. This is the lines, which is red, which I'm gonna keep this at 17 as well. 17% lines. Stop color is gonna be that color. Why? This color, if you put it as a red color, you're gonna get emotional. When the market that's going and when the market that's going to draw, if you right when it goes in a little drawdown, you're gonna get emotional. It's a number. That's a take profit. It's a number right over there. And opacity is 10% here. 6% on that stop loss. Why did I put the stop loss less opacity? Because when market goes in drawdown, you're gonna feel more and more emotion when the market goes up to the upside. So keep that in mind. Text is white. It is at 12. Price labels and nothing else. Now that's for the shorting. Now for the longing right over here, this one's still 17%. Top color is same thing. Take profit is still the same thing here. You can see 6%, 10%, 17%. Coloring on this that's a coloring. Price labels, and that's it. And that's for that. Now we'll go over the horizontal rate. Only have two sides on this: passive liquidity and excessive liquidity. Passive liquidity over here, 15%, 8. Put down passive liquidity here. The coloring that's the coloring. They're all the same coloring, by the way, for passive and excessive liquidity. Now this is my Gann box. The Gann box, we have, there's a settings. I marked out everything else except the 0.50% instead of the 0.50%. Why? For this specifically, because this is for my threshold entries, for the threshold entry that I can potentially have. So if I'm taking potential and a threshold entry, I'm putting this. I'm not putting the Fibonacci range because Fibonacci range is more on the OT side, and the daily range side is just for the. This is for the threshold entries. So like this, mark out everything else. And the coloring on this is 17%. Now, we call this, the brush is blacked out. The sell side liquidity, same thing, but the sell side. Sell liquidity 8, 17%. Lines, 17%. And that's the coloring. Now right over here is our OTE. This is the 1 out of the 4. And I have to keep in mind, I always save them and put them as a template. Now going for this one, this is the Fibonacci retracement. This is the OTE. It's right over here. The 0, 62, 75, 1. Oops. 1 right over here, and the 79, 50, 86. Why? Because these are specific OT price level. This is being the farthest price level ever. So now I'll give you the coloring on this. 17%, and that's the number. 62, 00, 17, 00. They're all at 17%, by the way. 00. I mean, that's the number off for that. This one, it's 000. That's the number of the city is 17%. All of them, 17%, 17%. That's for the OTE. Now for the daily range is 0 is 17%, 1 is 50%, and 0.50% is 17%. And the coloring are this, and this. Now, last thing is the standard deviation. 0.50%, 1, -2.5, -4, -2, -2, -1, 3, negative 1.5, which is right over here. And the coloring on these is right over there. Why I put this 2, negative 2, negative 2.5 in red, because those are they're the most important level on this OTA standard deviation. So coloring is at 17%. Coloring 17%. Coloring at 17%. Coloring at 17%. Coloring at 17%. Coloring at 17%. This is my toolbar. Everything includes it. It includes a chart, a candle. You can see it includes everything here. This is how you chart where overall look like. Very clean, very smooth, very aesthetic. I say to myself, this helps you avoid a lot of emotion, a lot of psychology problems. If you guys are facing psychology problems just because of colorings, everybody faces psychology problem with the coloring. So this is a non-negotiable thing that you need. If you're taking this trading serious, you need to have this shit. You can't fuck up with this one. Not fuck up. You can't fuck around with this one. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is my whole toolbar settings, charting, candles settings, everything settings. This is my. If you guys, let me go further back. Let me give you further. Let me give you guys my indicator setting. Alright, ICT high for candles by Fadi. Only have one indicator, by the way. This is this. I don't even know the indicator in this. Indicators ICT high for candle by Fadi, and only have 3 marked out: the 4-hour, the daily, and the weekly. Why? Because I'm a day trader, and they're at 1, 1, 1, and limit to the next 6 types only 6. The body is that, and they are at 30% each. The boards are at 90%. That's a number. They're the same here as well. 90%, 80%, and the settings 10, 1, 10, 1, tiny, tiny. Item label is blacked out, and they're at both a tiny. I did not mark out the fair value because why did I not mark out these ones? Because as I said, there's only one each, right? Why did I mark this out? Because I'm smart enough to look for myself, as well as I don't need a fucking indicator to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? As well as I only need it for the open high locals concept. The only reason I have the indicator here because of the open high locals concept. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck about that shit either. I said trace lines. Open is going to be always darker, the darkest, because the open is the most important. You want to see, okay, am buying above the opening price? Am I selling above the opening price? Which is that candle right over there. I have that in that dash line. Dash right over here as 1. See, I have it. That's a coloring. And the close, 50%, 50%, 50%. And the number on these are this. These are the numbers on this. They're all like this. L1. Enter 2. Last time frame. Price label. I don't know which I didn't write down, but I input in status line. So these are my even the indicator settings. So yeah, thank you for watching. You need this to be profitable. So I see you guys later. Show me your profit off of this. See you guys later. Peace out. And I see you guys on our Discord. Join the description down below, and see you guys later. Peace. And that's that. That's done as well. That is done as well. This is done as well. This is done as well. That is done well. That is done as well. Venezuela. Spell Venezuela. Spell Venezuela. Venezuela. No, Venezuela. Spell Venezuela. No, Venezuela. Venezuela. All right. Let me do a weekly market forecast. This is my weekly market forecast going over USD, GBUSD, and DXY. This is my higher type of drawn liquidity. Where I think market will go in a longer term basis is the market forecast. So it's the beforehand of the market, of what market could potentially do. On the monthly time frame, we have a monthly expansion daily range because market retested at 50% of the daily range. Now there's an expansion daily range. The expansion daily range is not confirmed yet unless the monthly candle closes in a bearish candle. We as well have a monthly ERL to IRL. On the weekly, we have a weekly ERL to IRL. As I said in my last video, the only time I go to the downside here if the weekly fair gets disrespected. In this case, the weekly fair gap is not disrespected, so we go for weekly IRL back to ERL. Also, we have a weekly CRT, or mono market version is weekly CRT. On the daily time frame, we have a daily expansion daily range. We're in a discount daily range. We recently went from a premium, we went from a discounted ERL to premium IRL. From now, we're going from a premium IRL back to discounted ERL, what is a discounted ERL? Is it this low or is it this low? Our discounted ERL is this kind of right over here. This is our discounted ERL. From discounted ERL, we're going back to premium IRL. So still the same candle. You can see there's a fair value gap here. This fair value gap, we don't care about it because this fair value gap is inside the discount of the daily range, because we can all go from a discount to premium and premium to discount. So we're going from right now currently a discounted ERL to premium IRL. As well, we have a daily CRT here that can, the daily CRT can get pressed. We're gonna buy that shit up back to the upside. And as in the short-term drawn liquidity, are we gonna be bearish? Right now we have a daily discounted ERL to premium IRL. For the downside, we only have a daily CRT to the downside and nothing else. That's all we have. But to the upside, with premium ERL, I mean, we have a discounted ERL to discount. We have a discounted ERL to premium IRL. We as well have a potentially CRT to the upside. Once we see the CRT, I'm longing that shit up for drawn liquidity. Will I see this CRT low getting souped and the ERL getting met over here? Possibly not. We'll probably not get met. We'll probably not get met because we already met the ERL here. So those people who took a long hold down here, you're chilling there. You can still hold it up to the drawn liquidity, to the higher target drawn liquidity. So yeah, this is my weekly market recap. Let me give it one more time to top-down analysis here. We have a monthly expansion daily range, premium discount, over monthly ERL to IRL. Weekly time we go for weekly IRL back to ERL. We as well have a weekly CRT upside. This candle has a mono confirmation for its weekly candle closed, only 4 hour time frame. On a daily time frame, we have a daily discounted ERL to premium IRL. We as well have a daily, not a CRT yet, but we will probably have a daily CRT upside as well. Now, on the daily time frame, are we bearish? Is it should looking bearish? To me, I'm not bearish no more. I'm bullish now. How come? Because now we have a daily, though the downside only have a daily CRT downside, we have nothing but a daily CRT to the downside where the IRL ticker is not there. That's all we have. We're as well in a discount daily range, so we want to go back up higher. That's all we got. So we're overall bear bullish in the day. So on Monday, I'm highly likely to be bullish if it makes sense. And if there's more context narrative. So yeah, this is my weekly market recap. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Market forecast, not recap. Goofy. Okay, so we have no daily SFD CRT, nothing like that. We have nothing like that. We have nothing like that. We have not. Oh yeah, we got a daily CRT up in this bitch, bro. CRT, I got soup on the CRT low. Yeah, we got daily CRT up in this bitch too. So Wednesday candles of CRT. So Wednesday candles of CRT. Because you need a bullish candle. It can't be this one, can't be this one, it's gotta be this one. So we have a daily series upside, so we have a daily series upside as well. So we're bullish overall. We have a market risk before this kind of closed. Okay, so this candle closed at 17 o'clock, right over here. Where the candle closed. Okay, so before this daily candle closed right over here, we had a S&P confirmation here. 11 o'clock, 17 o'clock, okay. So we have a daily confirmation of this CRT. How come? The market give a market confirmation before it closed. Okay, so we have a discounted ERL to premium IRL, as well as a daily shift upside, as well we have a discount daily range, and yeah, as well going to high average located as well. So yeah, we're bullish overall on a Monday. So yeah, see you guys later. This is my weekly market forecast. All the videos will be uploaded right